Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are. So I can see some of your names out here. Hi, Mukul. Hi, Shubham. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correct. Hi, Ulu Wafi Sayo, and hi, Venkatesh. I would love to hear back a hello from your end as well. And while you are at it, let me quickly set the agenda of today's session. So this is Sunita from GRE Wiz, and we are going to talk about how to solve the text completion 3 blank questions most efficiently today. I have been mentoring students for the last decade or so, and I've mentored thousands of students. Teaching is my passion, and I love finding solutions for to the problems that my students come to me with. So today's agenda is very simple. We're going to talk about how to read the sentence for better understanding. Okay, how you should read the sentence, because a lot of us emphasize on knowing the meanings of the words, which is of course very important, but most of us don't place enough emphasis on how we are reading the sentence itself. All right, so we are definitely going to look at the technique of reading the sentence properly. Then there is this shadow filling technique that we use, and we're going to talk about how to shadow fill each blank before you even move to the answer choices. And we're going to talk about definitely how to effectively rule out the incorrect options. So let me see here. Thank you. Hi, Parth. So that was another addition, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly, Oluwafi Sayu. So, guys, shall we get started? Hi, Mutyu. Wonderful. Good to see all of you here, guys. Now, what I'm going to do is start off by bringing up a question for you guys. All right. And we're going to start with a slightly easier question. It's an official question at the same time, but it's slightly easy. And I want you guys to answer this in the chat box. Okay, attempt this and answer this in the chat box. I'm going to give you about a minute and a half for doing this for now. All right, since we are warming up in the session, and I'm going to mute myself. Please put your answers in the chat box. Okay. I can already see some answers. Thank you, Anna. Yes, guys, I would love to see some more answers here before we proceed. And again, remember, I deliberately chose a simpler question to start with, just so that I can establish how to read the sentence properly and how to follow through with the rest of the process. Venkatesh believes it's BEI, Part says it's ADI, Oliver Fisayu believes it's ADI. What about the others, guys? There are a lot more of you out there, and I would really love to hear back from your end. So yes, Ekra, Mukul, Aditi, Joshua, Shubham, Bhavya. Let's have all your answers, guys. Okay. So far I've got most people rooting for A, D, and I, and then I do have some of you rooting for BEI. I'm still waiting for some more answers to come up, guys. As I can see, some more, a higher number of you are there. So please do join in. Okay, cool. So let me now start by showing the process. Again, please remember this particular question is deliberately kept easy so that I can show you the techniques. Okay, what are the things that you should look out for when you are reading the sentence? Okay, instead of just going ahead for the blanks and just looking at the answer choice and choosing. All right, so Mutyu has chosen C, E, and I think that was I. Okay, C, E, and I. All right, great. Here I go. So, guys, hold on to your questions while I go through with the explanations, and I will definitely give you time to ask me questions post that. So, here I start. Okay. So at GRE Viz, we lay a lot of emphasis on the way we read a sentence. We don't read a sentence in one long shot because often in doing that, we miss out on crucial points, transition words, words whose meaning would impact the blank that you're going to fill. So reading slowly but effectively makes sense. Okay. In her startlingly original writing. Now, quickly, you should register that we're talking about original writing. Since you don't know what lies ahead, it's best to keep track of all the adjectives that you are taking in because they could be very helpful in helping you fill in the blanks. So, we're talking about some author and we're talking about her writing being startlingly original. So original means that she's not copied it from anywhere. All right, great. Let's see what is there in this original writing. She went further than, okay, so she went further than any other 20th century author in English. All right, so not only is her writing original, it's a lot more than what the current authors of her era were doing. She went ahead. All right, she went further than any other author in English in in okay, so in doing something. All right, in doing something to the literary language and form. All right, so if she was original and if she went further than, then definitely she kind of added something to the literary language and form, or she perhaps brought in some new form, or she built on the existing form, something like that we are looking for. Okay. Stylistic convention. So we have a list here. So she went further in doing something to the literary language and form. She went further in doing something to the stylistic conventions. Now, if they are conventions and she went further than the conventions, then clearly she must have broken away from the conventions. Okay. You can't add to the conventions, otherwise, they will remain conventions. So she must have broken away from the conventions as well. All right. So she must have added something to or brought something new to the language and form. She must have broken away from the conventions because her writing was original and more than or further than or went beyond than other authors. And dash a rich and diverse structure of meaning. All right, so here we have the third element of the list. And clearly, when you say diverse, it means that her writing was a lot different from every other author of her era. So, if we sum up the thought process, that's the step two. Step one was breaking the sentence and reading it to get the overall meaning of the sentence, making note of all those adjectives and all the twists and turns. Now we are putting together our thoughts. Okay. So, original writing indicates that her writing is not copied from something that already exists. Also, she went further. This indicates that she did more than what the others before her did in their writings. Probably she added to the existing form, and thus we look for words that align with original and went further. All right. So, shadow filling the blank, that is, even before we are looking at the blank, we're quickly thinking, okay, the first blank could be filled with words like adding, building on. All right. And since she went further and was original, she cannot be following conventions. So the second blank would be something doing with breaking conventions. And the third blank, since we are using the word diverse here, can only mean something different or novel. So for the three blanks, I've kind of come up with shadow words of my own, and you will see they are very normal, very everyday words. How this will help you, we will see in a moment. Now we move to step 3, which is the ACE step at GRE Viz. And this is the step where you can save a lot of time if you have already shadow filled the words. So look here. Now you are looking for a word which is kind of aligned along these lines, adding or building on. So you eliminate the choices which don't even come anywhere near that. Okay, stabilizing would simply mean keeping something stable, which is not what we are looking for. So this is out. This is totally a contextual mismatch, as we call it. Canonizing means blessing. One of the meanings of canonizing is blessing, or it also means to place in a category which is considered, which is looked on with approval. And that also is nowhere near adding or building on or bettering the literary language or anything. So I'm going to rule out this. Reinventing, although I did not come up with that word, it's quite close to, adding or building on, especially with words that we already looked out at, original, and went further. All right. So I'm going to keep A on hold for the moment. Let's look at B, breaking conventions. So overpraising definitely does not go with what we have shadow filled. Misunderstanding, totally irrelevant here. Undoing is the closest to breaking conventions. Great. And if you're looking for different or novel, definitely replicating, which means copying, which is definitely not the answer. Borrowing, which also is very close to copying, not the answer. Introducing gets as close as it can. So we know that A, D, and I are the correct answers. All right, guys. So you would have seen, what did I do? I read the entire sentence in small chunks. Small chunks helped me focus on all those adjectives and all the nuances of the sentence. I did not rush to fill the first blank the moment I came across it. I read the entire sentence and then I started filling in the blanks with words of my own. Simple words, day to day words, which would complete the sense and meaning of the sentence. And then, using those words that I came up with, I eliminated the choices which did not come even close. And whatever was left was my answer. So, do let me know if you have any questions, guys. Do you have any questions, guys? Let me put up a poll for this. Okay, otherwise you can just answer me. If all is clear, just answer yes. If you have any questions, please let me know. So I'm just going to bring up a poll for that so that we are all on the same page. So do let me know, guys, if everything is clear to you. Okay, great. Let's now move to a slightly more twisted sentence, okay? We'll we'll gradually build up the difficulty level of the questions, but focus on the process. The difficulty level will automatically be eased out. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for your answers. And here comes the next question. So, guys, I'm going to mute myself while you give this a shot. And I'll wait for your answers in the chat box. All right, guys, let me look at the answers that I have got. So far that I have got is BFG. So B seems to be a favorite here for the first option. Anna says BFG. Monish says BF. Then Monish is not probably sure of the last one. Monish. Okay, Monish also believes it's BFG. Oluwafi Sayu believes it's BFC. Gaurav BFG. Guys, let me get some more answers because this isn't so simple. Let me wait for some more answers. I can see that there are so many of you out there, guys. Do put in your answers so that we can all match notes. Again, getting the question right is important, but it is also important to know that we are getting it right for the right reason and not just guessing at answers. I have deliberately focused on sentences that challenge you rather than the words today. Yes, guys, can we have some more answers from your end? I have just got 3, 4 answers, whereas there are a lot more of you out there. Okay. Thank you, Venkatesh. So Venkatesh has got ADG. Mukul says BFG. Mutyu says CEI. And again, you'll see here you don't have too many, exotic words. They are very everyday words here. All right, so I have Ekra, Joshua, Shubh, Shubham, Bhavya, Parth. Yes, guys, your answers would be really welcome. Monish also believes it's PFG. All right, great. So let me go ahead and decode this sentence, okay? So I'm going to start off. Repression. What does repression mean? Okay, repression basically means suppressing or pushing back, all right, or pushing away. So repression of painful memories is sometimes called willed forgetting. So what this segment of the sentence tells us is that deliberately, purposely, when you push back the painful memories, you don't want to remember them, it is called willed forgetting. You're willing yourself to forget. All right, let's see what the rest of the sentence has in store. Yet, now that yet, what we call transition words at GRE Viz, yet is a transition word, and you must make note of these words because they'll tell you how the sentence is, how there are shifts in thoughts in the sentence itself. So repression is willed forgetting, yet true forgetting. So the author here is trying to differentiate between willed forgetting, which is basically repression, and true forgetting, which is something. And definitely it would mean which is something different, probably from this, right? So true forgetting is different from the phenomena of repressed memory. All right, let's see what else the author has to say. In spite of the effort would mean work, that it. Now, what does this it refer to? This it can only refer to the previous noun, that is repressed memory. So in spite of the effort that it what it involves, something involves, because we're talking about efforts, so efforts are undertaken, efforts are involved, all right, efforts are taken, efforts are carried out. So let's see, in spite of the effort that it something repressing unwanted memories. Okay, so now I have it that this it is actually referring to this noun form here. Repressing unwanted memories is less something than truly forgetting them. Now this blank is a little puzzling because right away we are not getting any clue about it. For the first blank, we understand it could mean something about something that is different. In the second blank, we're talking about effort that is undertaken. But in the third blank, we are not very sure. All we know is that these repressing unwanted memories is less something than truly forgetting them. So clearly, we are definitely talking about the difference between the two. For here means because. Okay. So why is repressing unwanted memory less something? Because repressed memories are prone to come back. Okay, so they come back. That means repressing unwanted memories is less successful, I would say, right? And here we are looking at different, and here we are looking at in spite of the effort that it involves, something like this. So just to put our thoughts together, the yet indicates true forgetting is in some way a contrast to the repressed memory, and then we're talking about the effort undertaken or involved to repress unwanted memories. And since the repressed memories come back, they cannot be permanently gone. All right. So it's not successful. So if I shadow fill the words, the first blank could be filled with words like unlike, dissimilar, different. The second blank could be filled in with words like that it involves, that it undertakes. Repressing memories isn't successful, so the repression isn't permanent, we can think of. It comes back, it isn't forever gone. So with those words, we move to our answer choices. So let's see don't which choices don't reflect these words for the first blank. Less control. We are not talking about controlling or not controlling the repression of painful memories, or so this is out. We can keep B because we're still looking at that different in the way it works out, and the rest of the sentence is also telling us that um, repression of painful memories works out differently because all the memories come back, and true forgetting is totally different from that. All right. So let's see. So I can keep B. Far more common. So the issue is not about which kind of which forgetting is more common and which forgetting is less common. So I'm going to keep B. Let's look at the second blank. Involved, undertaken. Clearly here, entails means contains, okay, or involves. So we are not talking about effort conveying anything or effort easing anything. All right, it's simply that the effort contains, in spite of the effort that it contains or it involves. So I'm going to keep on entails. Entails would mean involves, closest here. And of course, permanent leaps out at you. Arduous simply means requiring a lot of effort. Arduous means difficult to accomplish, okay, tough to do. And of course, we are not looking at the fact that it is tough. The idea is it doesn't come back. So therefore, the correct answer is B, F, and G. So guys, let's kind of, do you have any questions, guys? Or are you clear with the explanation? If you're clear with the explanation, let me know. All right. Okay, great. So before we move ahead with the next question, here is a quick look at the GRE Whiz course. So you can see that the course contains 5 modules here. The first 3 modules deal with the quant portion of GRE, and the 4th and 5th modules deal with vocabulary and reading and comprehension, the 2 most important question types that appear on the GRE, right? To give you, again, since this session is on text completion, let's understand how we help you to build the vocabulary. You can see this is a screenshot of the vocabulary deck at GRE Wiz, and you can see that we have graded words into let's according to their frequency. All right, I'll take you inside the deck in a moment. So this deck contains every deck contains flashcards, and with the help of these flashcards, you are supposed to be able to build a better vocabulary. And of course, along the way, apart from the flashcards, we have quizzes inbuilt into the flashcard, into the deck to test what level you are doing and whether you are completing it successfully or not. So here's a look at inside the deck. Okay, so here we are looking at these different decks: high frequency deck 1, deck 2, and each deck would have a set of flashcards. Each flashcard would look something like this. For example, if you, and this is for students who want to improve their vocabulary and to be able to recall whatever they are learning. All right, it's not just enough that you memorize lists. You need to remember the meanings of the words that you are memorizing. So the best way to memorize is the visual representation. So this is one sample of a flashcard, and we've got nearly about 1,500 such flashcards on the different decks. So discerning, let's say for example, discerning here is an adjective, and the meaning is given to you here. And then there's a sentence example which is given to you, which kind of corroborates with the picture here. So you're able to remember that discerning means having good taste for art. You can remember the picture of the girl sitting in front of those different art pieces and looking at them and probably evaluating them or thinking about them or trying to understand which of what art is good or bad. All right, and synonyms are given along the line here as well as the antonyms. So once you have gone through a certain deck, there are quizzes which you can attempt and which will show you that whether you have been able to successfully remember that word or not. All right, so we have nearly 1,500 such flashcards distributed over those decks that I showed you earlier. The entire course comes for this is the price tag for the different. The course is the same, although the access or validity of the course is different. So if you're just buying for a month, that means if you're giving your GRE in about a month's time, you can buy the entire course for $35. And if you are looking for a slightly longer validity, 3 months, then you can buy for $75. And if you're looking for even longer validity, that is 6 months, you can buy it for $95. So the course is same. You get the access to the full course in each of these cases. Okay, enough said about this. Let me also at the same time share with you guys, and I'm going to bring up the next question. All right, so Monish had a question. I'm sorry, Monish, I didn't notice your query earlier. Let me take you back to that. Yeah, you were asking, Monish, why not conveys? See, conveys means informs. Okay, conveys. Sorry, guys. Conveys means informs. All right. So, are we saying in spite of the effort that it informs? No, right? The effort is not conveyed to anybody. Therefore, it is incorrect, Monish. All right. I hope that is clear now. Yes, there is a free trial version as well. And I was just going to share in fact, if all of you look at the sticky chat box, sticky message at the head of the chat box, you can see there are 2 links there. I'm going to post them in a moment in the chat as well. Let me just quickly go to the chat. Just give me a moment, guys. So I have posted in the chat box 2 links, guys. there is one link for accessing the free trial version of the GRE Viz GRE course. And if you are kind of finding yourself stuck with in your preparation for GRE, or you don't know what to do right away, you can, I'll share another link separately for you guys. I think there is a problem with that link. Hold on a second, please. So I've reposted the link to the free trial version separately. And I'm going to post the link for you to get in touch with our strategy experts in case you need any assistance or direction about how to take up the course. So there's the Calendly link to book a free call with our experts. All right, guys, so let's get back on track. Here comes the third question of the evening. So I've already pointed out to you, given you a glimpse of our course, of the vocabulary decks, and in a good look at the deck, at the flashcards that we have. They are unique. You will not find anybody offering you this kind of flashcard and at that price. So here's the third question of the evening, guys. Get going. You can start posting your answers, guys. Thank you, Anna, for your answer. If you need more time, take so. Again, focus on the words in the sentence itself. Focus on the connections. Focus on the tone of the sentence. Ikra also thinks it's CEG. So does Joshua. Let's see if that is correct or not. In the meantime, so without without using Google to come up with the meanings, how many of y'all know the meaning of dissolution? How many of y'all know the meaning of dissolution? You can write the meaning of dissolution in the chat box for me if you want. And again, this is from your memory and not Googling it. And I'm still waiting for more answers, guys. Thank you, Oluwafisayo. CEH. So CE remains constant. Yes, what is the meaning of dissolution? Thank you, Monish, for your answer as well. Mukul, thank you. Yes, guys, come up with the answers. Thank you, Mutyu. Yes, I'm. So, anybody knows the answer to dissolution? What is the meaning of dissolution? So, Oluwafi Sayo says dissolution means to disassociate. Monish believes it means to dissolve into pieces. Okay, R1 believes CEG is the correct answer. Again, as I said earlier, also, getting the answer right is definitely our aim, but also to learn from what else we can say. So, Mukul also believes dissolution means to dissolve. You know, guys, sometimes these familiar sounding words, they mislead us. All right, you may have got the question correct, but you may not have got it correct for the correct reason. So R1 says resolute means to come together, dissolute means to break. All right. Um, so let's see. Joshua says, I think it could mean to settle an issue, dissolution. Joshua, you're closer to the mark. Okay, I'm going to give out the meanings as well, but I want you guys to think about it. So somebody thinks dissolution means to dissolve. Somebody thinks dissolution means to disassociate, to break apart. Somebody thinks it means to come to an end or settle an issue. So look at the difference in each of your thought processes, guys. All right. And um, the best way to resolve this would be always whenever you're looking up words, remember every word has multiple, almost every word, I don't think I should say every word, but almost every word has multiple meanings. So if you have looked at one word and you have understood its meaning but not its other meaning, then you have missed out on something. At GRE Viz, when we were building the deck, we also built in the multiple meanings of the same word. All right. For example, appreciate means to praise, right? Appreciate means to praise as a verb, but appreciate as a verb also means to increase. So praise and increase, two different meanings of the same word in the same verb form. All right, let me get back to this question, guys. So I've got answers and thank you very much. So most answers figure around CEH, BDH, BEG, and CEH, CEG as well. So let me get started on the discussion of this question. Okay. Rather than. So remember, rather than is used as a preposition at times, and it is also used as a conjunction at times. So here, since we are beginning the sentence with rather than, probably is being used as a preposition. Let's see. Rather than viewing, that is looking at the MBC's antinomian controversy. Now, let's say I don't know what is antinomian. I could break it up and think of something with anti and nomian, but let's not get into that. What is important is controversy, right? So, rather than viewing, I'm going to just kind of core of the sentence, rather than viewing this controversy, all right. And what is controversy? It's a debate, right? It's a argument as the inevitable. Inevitable means unavoidable, right? So the author is instead of looking at the controversy as an unavoidable, my bad, guys, unavoidable, it will be unavoidable something. Now, because it is a controversy, what can be another word for the controversy here? Because we are saying viewing the controversy as an unavoidable something of the intransigent opposing forces. Intransigent means stubborn, something that refuses to be appeased. Okay. Opposing forces. So clearly, the first blank we are looking to fill in with words related to controversy. It's an unavoidable debate or unavoidable clash, maybe. All right. Of the intransigent, that means stubborn opposing forces of radical and dash beliefs. Okay, so radical and dash beliefs are opposing forces, right? And radical means something which is extreme, something which is unconventional. So this blank will be filled in with something to do with regular and conventional. All right. So radical and conventional beliefs, male and female piety. Okay, so male versus female piety. Piety is to do with devotion, piousness, religiousness. Dash and secular power. Okay, secular means, again, secular here means non-religious, right? So this third blank is to be filled in with a word which means religious and non-religious, and the like. So we have a list of 3 opposing forces: extreme and conventional beliefs, male and female piety, religious and secular power, and the like, as other critics have. So what we are saying in the crux here is, rather than looking at this controversy as an unavoidable clash between these opposing forces, Winsip argues that the crisis was not fixed and structural. So there's somebody who argues that the crisis was not fixed and structural. It was definitely more dynamic. All right. So if we gather our thought processes, the core of the first part of the sentence is, rather than viewing a controversy as an unavoidable clash of some opposite forces, these opposing forces are the ones such as male versus female. So radical means unconventional, we are looking for conventional. Secular means non-religious, we are looking for a word indicating religious. So if we shadow fill our blanks, for the first blank, we are looking for words such as opposition, debate, clash. Probably not opposition, because we already have the word opposing, but in that, along those lines. Then for the second blank, we're looking for words such as conventional, traditional, regular, non-extremist. And opposite of secular would be religious and sacred and things like that. So with that shadow filling, let's move to our answer choices. Now, here, sorry guys, my bad. So here's the thing. I need to rule out words. Okay, instead of choosing, we rule out first. So I'm going to rule out words which don't come close to this. So melding does not come close to this. Melding actually means uniting or merging or marrying and so on and so forth. Dissolution, that was an interesting discussion there. Dissolution, I'm giving you 2 different meanings. Meaning 1, dissolution means coming to a conclusion. So coming to a conclusion. Sorry. And the other meaning means decadence. What is decadence? Immorality. Fall in morals. I'm just giving a very simple word for it. Okay, immorality is dissolution. He is a dissolute, means he is an immoral, decadent, debauched person. All right. So dissolution will also not work. And of course, if you have already got this, and even if you don't know the meaning of dissolution, because a lot of you did not get the meaning right, but if you're shadow filling, you know that we are looking at inevitable clash, right? Inevitable clash or inevitable collision. Collision is clash. All right. Second blank should have words aligned with conventional and traditional. So it cannot be revolutionary, which is just the opposite. It has to be orthodox. Orthodox means something which is very conventional, very traditional, not moving away from the established norms. definitely not questionable. So we do go with C and E. Now, a lot of you were between C and H. So let's understand what is religious, what is not religious. So civil does not have anything to do with religious. Cerebral means wise, intelligent, okay? Again, nothing to do with this. Now, if we look at the word clerical, guys, one meaning of clerical is to do with office work, right? And this is something that a lot of us do know. But then clerical also means to do with the church, or you can say the clergy, priest. So clerical would mean priestly as well, and that's the closest we get to religious. All right, and therefore G is the correct answer. All right, guys, so was the explanation clear? If you have any queries, please go ahead and ask. So I hope that all of you have got your meanings here. Let me just quickly put up my poll and let me know if the explanation is clear, guys. If you have any queries, I'll be only too glad to answer it. All right, so I can see the explanation is clear. Again, I hope those of you who chose H, civil, will understand that it has got nothing to do with secular, all right? So knowing the meanings of the other words in the sentence is important, and therefore building a good vocabulary is very, very important. And we have done a very good job of helping you build vocabulary with our practice decks. All right, let me bring the next question up. Here we go, guys. This is the last question of the evening and probably the hardest. So again, don't reach out for the Google. Solve this question. You've got your time starts now. Yes, guys, let's have some more answers. I have given you enough time. Again, if you are following the right process, it won't take you so much time. So I've got Anna's answer, I've got Monish's answer, Joshua, Mutyu, Mukul, Shubham, Olu Afisayo, Ekra. Your answers are awaited, guys. Okay, so kind of almost everybody agrees that it is ADH, all right? And let us see if it is for the right reasons. What is the meaning of expedient, guys? What is the meaning of expedient? So while I'm waiting for some more answers, thank you, Mutyu, I'll answer a question which is posed by one of the attendees, R1. So R1 is asking how to memorize words quickly for long term. So R1, my answer to that is if you just memorize words and their meanings blindly, okay, you will confuse the meanings of words and you'll forget them when you need them most. So memorizing words, there are various techniques, all right? And you can use all of them together to reduce the time you take to learn them. And this is something that again we have taught at our in our course, that you look at word association. All right. So for example, in the previous question, we had the word dissolute. Now, when you're learning the word dissolute, you would just like dissolute and this is the meaning, and you would try to mug it up. Not like that. Look at a sentence, see how it is used, and then associate it with something that you know. Say, for example, the dissolution of the problem. Okay, dis plus solution. So you are basically finding a solution to the problem. All right. Or if you're saying he is an absolute dissolute, the degenerate of the highest order. So you're assigning a person with the adjective of dissolute, and that person is a morally decadent person. So you will remember the meaning of dissolute because you have assigned it or allocated it or associated it with another word. There are a lot more other ways of remembering words better, using roots is one way. All right. um, so expedient, good, Mukul. Expedient means, okay, Mutyu says expedient means important. No. Monish says expedient means continuing to act even when you know the act is. I think you meant the act is immoral, Monish. Mukul has got it right, practical but morally wrong. So, expedient means something which is, expedient is used, if you're using it as an adjective, it means something that is beneficial but probably not moral, okay? Probably not really, it shouldn't be done that way, all right? So, that is expedient. It's an expedient solution, means it's a practical solution, it's a plausible solution, but not really the right solution in the sense of morality. Absolutely, Mukul. Thank you. Um, so again, you can often confuse it with expedite, which is totally different. Expedite means to speed up. All right. Okay. Let me decode this sentence. So right off the bat, we start with but. So we don't know whether this but is going to be important now because what preceded this we don't know. But even then, just keeping in mind, they pay little attention, means they pay no attention, hardly any attention to the opposite and more treacherous failing. So they pay little attention to some failing. All right, it's a failing. So let's see what is that failing. False certainty. Okay, so here they have given us a list of failings, it seems. False certainty. That means if you are feeling certain, but that certainty, that surety is actually not true, it's false. This is important here. Refusing to confess their mistakes. So, failing one is false surety. Okay. Failing two is not admitting mistakes. And failure 3 is implicitly claiming what? So now because we have this and here, so this blank is connected to refusing to confess their mistakes, right? So clearly, somebody who refuses to confess their mistakes would claim that they are maybe or they are faultless. That is what comes to my mind. All right. Thereby embarrassing the nation. Okay, so whoever does this, okay, whoever has this failing, whoever puts up a false guarantee, false surety, whoever claims to be flawless and faultless and doesn't admit their mistake, they embarrass, they put to shame. So embarrassing is the keyword here for me as well. The nation and undermining the constitution. So undermining means weakening the constitution, which established various mechanism of self-correction. So this constitution has inbuilt certain methods of self-correction. All right, so let me put this together. There are these people who put up, who do not pay attention to these failings they have. The failings being primarily false certainty, refusing to confess their mistakes, and claiming that they are flawless. In doing so, these people embarrass the nation, they weaken the constitution. The constitution contains ways of self correction. Who will self correct in this context? These people who refuse to confess their mistakes. All right. On the premise that, so these mechanisms of self correction were built on the basis that even now, for me, this even is important. Even the wisest are sometimes wrong and need, okay, so they are wrong and they need something. What do they need? Precisely when they find it most dash, the benefit. So they need the benefit of certain process. Which process? This process that the constitution is building in, probably. And they need it when they find it most what? When would they need? So if I am a person who refuses to confess her mistake and then realizes that she's made a mistake and then embarrasses the nation, and that is the time when I need that self correction. All right, although admitting my mistake is going to be very embarrassing for me, right? So I'm going to put together my thought process here. Blank one needs a negative word in line with failing, shortcoming. All right, and this failing embarrasses the country and weakens the constitution. And the constitution provides ways to correct oneself, because even the wisest may need to be corrected at times. So even the wisest can be wrong, although they might be embarrassed to admit it, right? And such wise men would be helped by these corrective measures. All right, that corrective process. So if I'm shadow filling the blanks, the first blank would be something that would talk about claiming to be correct or claiming to be faultless. All right. Second blank would be filled with something like feeling ashamed, not feeling good about being forced to admit that you're wrong. And the final blank should be filled in with corrective process, or because we are talking about benefits of the self correction measures. With that shadow filling, so let me see which words don't come close to faultless. Immunity is definitely nowhere close to faultless. Immunity means getting protection from something. This is definitely not a failing. Impartiality is a positive word, it's not a failing. Impartial means unbiased, being fair and just. So, infallibility is the correct answer for my first blank, even if I don't know the meaning of infallibility. If I know the meaning of immunity, if I know the meaning of impartiality, and I know that I'm looking for something that is not immunity, not impartiality, it is close to faultless, I can look at infallibility. So, infallible means not given to the weakness that most moral men, most men experience, most humans experience. Infallible, cannot make a mistake. Embarrassing hints at feeling ashamed. So, imminent means about to happen, doesn't fit. Expedient means advantageous, but probably not moral. Again, nothing to do with feelings. Discomforting comes from the word not feeling comfortable. So ashamed, embarrassed definitely means you are not feeling comfortable. So discomforting makes sense here. And we don't know whether the process is adaptable or not. We are looking at corrective word. Injudicious is a negative word, which means unwise. So I'm not going to look at this, and I'm left with remedial, corrective, remedy. So the correct answer is A, D, and H. Do let me know, guys. Is this clear to all of you? Is this clear to all of you guys? Let me just put up a poll here. So let's quickly round up the process, guys. All right. If we put together the process of the GRE with three-step methodology to ace the text completion questions, step one is to understand the intended meaning of the sentence. The way I've been breaking and reading the sentence today, we have covered how to do this in our skill builder video lesson, and you can take a look at that when you try out the free trial version of the course. Step two is pre-thinking, where we break down the entire thought process for you and we shadow fill the words. Don't try to fill one blank in isolation, okay? Read the entire sentence, look for other cues and blanks, look at the other words used in the sentence, look at the other transition words used, all right? And then you sum up all of these pieces, okay? Then you can form an idea of how the each blank would most meaningfully complete the sentence, and then you can shadow fill the blank. That's what we've been doing, coming up with your own words, your phrases for each blank, and very simple words, because you can use those words to eliminate the choices in the final step. And remember, a single blank can sometimes have multiple possibilities, okay? But then the shadow words can help you narrow down your options very, very quickly. Finally, the third step is what we call the ACE, the answer choice elimination. Here, instead of trying to search for the correct answer, eliminate, go from wrong to right. So rule out the choices which are totally unrelated to your shadow words. And this is what we've been doing. Okay, and that definitely will require you to have a good knowledge of vocabulary, something that you can build. All right, you should be building. Of the remaining choices for a particular blank, select the choice that comes closest to the word that you came up with when you were shadow filling for that blank. And then put together and read the sentence to see. You might be thinking that, oh, this is going to take a lot of time. Really not. Once you get the hang of it, you automatically hone in, tune into certain words. You do that automatically. It's not so much, it doesn't remain any onerous task at that. So once again, just reminding you that these are the reduced prices, the offer prices currently ongoing. So R1, the sentence structure is complex. How to simplify understanding? You need to break down. That is what we have shown in our skill builder, that how to break down the sentence. All right, where should you break down the sentence? So you should break down whenever you come across these transition words, the connectors. We have pointed those things out to you in detail. All right. Once you learn to break it down, you would have seen that today when I was going through those sentences, I did not read the full sentence in one shot at any point of time. All right, I kept breaking it into small chunks and small pieces and understanding that small chunk before I moved ahead. So you have to do that. What you could do, R1, is you could just Google for clauses and conjunctions, okay, and try to understand the structure of complex sentences in general. It's a bit of grammar there, but then you could just go through that to help you understand how the sentence is built, so you can break down your sentence more easily. So guys, if you have any other queries, I'll repost the free trial version of the course in the chat box in case you want to take a sneak peek at it. Just give me a moment. So there's the free trial version link there. And in case you want to talk to a strategy experts, you're beginning your preparation, or let's say you are in the middle of your preparation, but you find yourself going nowhere and you would like to talk to our experts for some advice, you can book a free call using this Calendly link, which I have posted just now, guys. Any other queries if you have, I'll be glad to answer. Remember, improving vocabulary in a short span of time requires a lot of dedicated effort. It requires you to look at words in a wholesome way. Okay, the same word could be used as a noun, as a verb. It could have different meanings. It could be a positive word. It could be a negative word. There's so many things about a word that you need to know. Um, uh, Most welcome, Mutyu. I'm glad you found this helpful. I hope, guys, all of you found it helpful. And do do let us know what kind of topics you'd like to see us bring to you to help you in your GRE preparation, guys. I don't see any more queries coming up. So all the best, guys, for your preparation. Keep learning, and remember, vocabulary building is a lifelong process. You're welcome, guys. Thank you very much, and a very good day to all of you if you're just beginning your day, and a good night to those of you who are done with the day. Sure, we are definitely going to bring up soon a webinar on RC. And of course, RC itself is a very, very interesting topic. You have very little time to complete one question on RC, and you definitely need techniques. Most welcome, Oluwafisayu. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. All right, guys, see you again. Take care. Happy learning.